I always wanted to own a E30 M3 since I was a little boy. And as the years went by, the value of the vehicle obviously has increased, and by the time I had enough money to buy a vehicle, the price had shot up crazy. So I couldn't afford to buy a real one, and we decided to build one.
Dream, search, drive. Cars.co.za.
Keep your adventure alive, because when it comes to finding the right part at the right price, there's just no place like Midas for the love of cars.
I'm Noshad, and this is my M3 build.
I'm Devin from Big Boss Auto. Nice to meet you guys.
I've seen Big Boss build E30 M3 replica in 2007. They had it at the back, and I looked at it and it looked beautiful. And I bought a 325i chrome bumper that had a lot of similarities interior-wise to an E30 M3, and it seemed like the perfect fit to build a replica. And that's when I brought the vehicle to Big Boss Auto.
Well, it was actually it was an honor, and him trusting us with the build. Not many people want to trust people with builds nowadays. The build started off with a complete tear down, right down to bare metal kit. Make sure all pre-fitting, all that kind of thing, getting all the paintwork done. He chose the color, which I think suits the car beautifully. Did all the interior work. So it's been a 2-year build process, but a lot of learned basically out of the build.
Look, we didn't build her for speed, so she's more of a cruiser, comfortable to drive. You know, we built her more for looks, you know, but a lot of work's been done. You know, she's got coilovers, original suspension, you know, original motor, original gearbox from 1986, and very, very comfortable to cruise with. She's 90 kilowatts, and that's what an original 325i chrome bumper came with when it came out. And that's what we wanted to achieve. Basically, driving an old vehicle compared to a new vehicle is very, very different. You know, a lot of people are afraid to drive custom-built cars because they think that, you know, it's always going to give them trouble. Yes, it does have its fair share of headaches, but a new car is not going to bring you joy like this. You know, you're very connected to the road. The car feels alive. You know, there's no ABS. In this one here, there's no brake booster because there's no space for a brake booster. So getting into this vehicle, you're focused on the road. You know, you're very, very connected with the car itself. And you'll never get that in a modern day car. Whether it's a Bugatti or a Kia Picanto, you're just never going to be as connected as an old school vehicle. Everywhere you go, people are whistling. People are taking out their phones, taking videos. A lot of people think it's an original M3, which actually brings me joy because that's what we aimed out to achieve, is to get the look perfect. So the interior is a very funny story. I'm sure a lot of people, especially E30 fanatics, would know that the seats that are in this car are E21 Recaro seats. Very, very difficult to find and to source in today's times. So I found a gentleman who was selling these seats, and he was immigrating to Dubai. So I had to drive 2.5–3 hours in traffic, in roadworks to Cecilburg. When I got there, I had to wait for him to finish work. He reached there at about 8:30. After that, we went into his workshop, and it was sitting right at the back. It took us another hour to get the seats. They were full of spiders, full of bugs. They were dirty as hell. Paid him his price, didn't want to negotiate, drove back, got home just after midnight. The next day I took it to a gentleman by the name of Dion Nyker. He works with Fulton Leather, and he reskinned the dashboard for me. He did the panels, he did the seats, and the look we wanted to achieve was from a salmon silver BMW M3. And so it's got Napa leather with Ubacaro on the centers. With regards to the dashboard as well, I mean, you know, we wanted it to look OEM M3 as well. So it was a lot of research, a lot of work went into it as well. You'll see that there's a custom plate as well that's signed by myself that comes on an M3 Evolution Sport. The gear knob as well, give it the authentic E30 M3 look. The computer box, you know, a lot of people don't get it to work properly. You know, we've got the temperature gauge working, we've got everything working properly. And we tried to just keep it as standard as possible inside as well.
So just to give you some more in-depth on what a perfectionist he tried to get the car to look, he brought me 5 different clusters. IS cluster, 3 of them, a cluster from a 325 cluster, all to get one to work. We got one to work the speedo, but the rev counter wouldn't work. And one is this motor meter, and the other one is VDO, so they're not interchangeable. So he then managed to get one, but we brought the gears were missing out of the drive for the speedo because he wanted the speedo to work. So we brought them in from Poland as well, the little gears. So that's and then the faces as well. So we got everything over, so the check engine light works, all that kind of thing. So the amount of time and effort that he's put in because he wants everything to be right. So he thinks he's been a pain in the bum sometimes with me, but it's so nice to have somebody that actually wants to finish the project off, that it looks as best as it can look. Many just throw a whole lot of money at it, but they miss this finer detail. So like I say, when he brought the badges, as you can see, for the center of the seats, little clipping badges, and you know, he asks me, would you mind sticking it, because he's scared that he puts the sticker on skew, or you know, so it's been an absolute pleasure to work with him.
The kit was sourced by Big Boss Auto, but what they did is, because of rights, they couldn't deliver the C-pillar. And funny enough, I picked up the vehicle, it was done, it looked beautiful, but it didn't have a C-pillar. So I went on my own mission. I imported the C-pillar from Poland. It was very expensive, but in the end, I think it completed the car. It was worth doing. I gave Dev a lot of headache, but I mean, when you look at the workmanship and the craftsmanship that is done, I mean, you park it next to a real E30 M3 and you can't tell the difference. So the pop-out windows as well, I had to source from Germany. It was a mission to get them because there were some shipping issues, but eventually we got the shipping issues sorted. And yeah, it took 3 months to get to South Africa, but well worth it. So we put Lenzo BSXs on the vehicle. It was 7.5J in the front, 8.5J in the back. But when we got the car, it just looked a little bit in at the arches. It didn't sit proper.
Yeah, it looked a little bit small and skinny.
It looked small, yeah. So then we decided to put 8.5Js in the front. We changed the wheel, and it's 10.5J at the back. We've got semi-slick tires as well. So yeah, it came out beautiful. So I would say the project on this vehicle is 99% complete. You know, we've also done the motor to a good point.
Motor's got a custom built intake for M3, E46 M3 throttles, decent exhaust system. It runs power mounts, engine management, so that we can tune it and obviously get away from the standard ECU, because we actually had trouble with the standard ECUs.
I think it's just a little nitty-gritties left. So like Dev says, I'm a perfectionist. So it's just the small things I'm gonna nag him on. And yeah, very happy with the overall outcome. So for me, an E30 M3 replica or original E30 M3 for me is the ultimate E30. You know, in South Africa, everybody loves the 325 IS, which is a beautiful vehicle. I've owned 2 myself. But I mean, you know, nowadays everybody is taking a 318. Everybody can make it look like an IS, and they're very, very common. There's more ISs on the road now than they were produced. And to have an M3, especially built like this, a proper looking replica, is extremely unique. And you know, parked next to any E30 this year takes the cake any day. So I put the vehicle up for sale because, you know, I've done it, I've built it, Dev helped me, and I wanted to move on to something else, and a few people gave me some offers, and I just pulled it off. I couldn't part with it, and she's going to stay off the market.
Cars.co.za.
Are you busy trying to decide between 2 cars, 3 cars, 4 cars, 5 cars, 6 cars, and getting absolutely lost in all of the specs and all of the different pricing? Well, we have an excellent compare tool on our main website and in our app for you to use. It's very detailed, it's very slick and quick and efficient, and I highly recommend it. I use it all the time when I'm doing research for our car shoots. So check it out. We'll put the link in the description below and tell us what you think. Tell us if it helped you out.
Keep your adventure alive, because when it comes to finding the right part at the right price, there's just no place like Midas. For the love of cars.